Hello again, everyone. Back here again with chapter 8. Thought I'd get this one done now. So here we go. He answered me, saying, The Most High have made this world for many, but the world to come for few. I will tell thee a similitude, Esdras. As when thou askest the earth, it shall say unto thee, that it giveth much mould whereof the earth vessels are made, but little dust that gold cometh of. Even so is the course of this present world. There be many created, but few shall be saved. So answered I and said, Swallow then down, O my soul, understanding and devour wisdom. For thou hast agreed to give ear, and art willing to prophecy, for thou hast no longer space than only to live. O Lord, if thou suffer not thy servant, that we may pray before thee, and now give us seed unto our heart, and culture to our understanding, and that there may come fruit of it, how shall each man live that is corrupt, who beareth the place of a man? For thou art alone, and we are all one workmanship of thine hands, like thou hast said. For when the body is fashioned now in the mother's womb, now givest its members, thy creature is preserved in fire and water. 9 months doth thy workmanship endure thy creature, which is created in her. But that which keepeth and is kept shall both be preserved. And when the time cometh, the womb preserved delivereth up the things that grew in it. For thou wast commanded out of the parts of the body, that is to say, out of the breasts, milk to be given, which is the fruit of the breasts, that the thing which thou fashioned may be nourished for a time, till thou dispossessed it to thy mercy. Thou broughtest it up with thy righteousness, and nurtured it in thy law, and reformed it with thy judgment. And thou shalt mortify it as thy creature, and quicken it as thy work. And therefore thou shalt destroy him which with so great labour was fashioned. It is an easy thing to be ordained by the commandment, that the thing which was made might be preserved. Now therefore, Lord, I will speak, touching man in general. Thou knowest best, but touching thy people, for whose sake I am sorry. And for thine inheritance, for whose cause I mourn, and for Israel, for whom I am heavy, and for Jacob, for whose sake I am troubled. Therefore I will begin to pray before thee, for myself and for them. For I see the fools of us that dwell in the land. But I have heard the swiftness of the judge which is to come. Therefore hear my voice, and understand these words, and I shall speak before thee. This is the beginning of the words of Esdras, before he was taken up, and I said, O Lord, that dwellest in the everlastingness, which beholdest from above all things, in the heaven and the air, whose throne is inestimable, whose glory cannot be comprehended, before whom the host of angels stand with trembling, whose service is conversant with wind and fire, whose word is true and sayings constant, whose commandment is strong and ordinance fearful, whose look drieth up the depths, and indignation make the mountains to melt away, which the truth witness. Excuse me. O hear the prayer of thy servant, and give ear to the petition of thy creature. For while I live, I will speak, and so long as I have understanding, I will answer. O look not upon the sins of thy people, but on them which serve thee in truth. Regard not the wicked inventions of the heathen, but the desire of those that keep thy testimonies in afflictions. Think not upon those that have walked vainly before thee, but remember them which according to thy will have known thy fear. Let it not be thy will to destroy them which have which have lived like beasts, but to look upon them that have clearly taught thy law. Take thou no indignation at them which are deemed worse than beasts, but love them that always put their trust in righteousness and glory. For we and our fathers do languish of such diseases, but because of us sinners thou shalt be called merciful. Hang on a sec. For if thou hast a desire to have mercy upon us, thou shalt be called merciful to us, namely, that have no works of righteousness. For the just, which have many good works laid up with thee, shall out of their own deeds receive reward. For what is man, that thou shouldest take pleasure at him? Or what is a corruptible generation, that thou shouldest be so bitter toward it? For in truth them is no man among them that be born, but he have dealt wickedly, and among the faithful there is none which have not done amiss. For in this, O Lord, the righteousness and thy goodness shall be declared, if thou be merciful unto them which have not the confidence of good works. Then answered he me, and said, Some things thou hast spoken aright, and according unto thy word it shall be. For indeed I will not think on the disposition of them which have sinned before death, before judgment, before destruction. But I will rejoice over the disposition of the righteous, and I will remember also their pilgrimage, and their salvation, and the reward that they shall have. Like as I have spoken now, so shall it come to pass. For as the husbandman soweth much seed upon the ground, and planteth many trees, and yet the thing is sown good in his season cometh not up, neither doth all that are plant take root. Even so is it of them that are sown in the world, that shall not be saved. I answered then and said, For if I have found grace, let me speak. Like as the husbandman's seed perisheth, if it come not up, and receive not thy rain in due season, or if there come too much rain, and it corrupt it. Even so perish man also, which is formed with thy hands, and is called thine own image, because thou art like unto him. For whose sake shall have made all things, and likened unto him a husbandman's seed? Be not wroth with us, but spare thy people, and have mercy on thine own inheritance, for thou art merciful unto thy creature. Then answered he me, and said, Things present are for the present, and things to come are for such as to come. For thou camest far short, that thou shouldest be able to love my creature more than I. But I have oft times drawn nigh unto thee, and unto it, but never to the righteous. But never to the unrighteous. In this also thou art marvellous before the Most High, in that thou hast humbled thyself, as it becometh thee, and hast not judged thyself worthy to be much glorified among the righteous. For many great miseries shall be done to them in the latter time that dwell on the earth, because they have walked in great pride. But understand for thyself, and seek out for the glory such as be like thee. For unto you paradise is opened, and the tree of life is planted, and the time to come is prepared. Plenteousness is made ready, a city is builded, and rest is allowed, yea, perfect goodness and wisdom. The root of evil is sealed up from you. Weakness and the moth is hid from you, and corruption is fled into hell to be forgotten. Sorrows are past, and the end is showed the treasure of immortality. And therefore ask thou no more questions concerning a multitude of them that perish. For when they have taken liberty, they despised the Most High. They thought scorn of his law, and forsook his ways. Moreover, they have trodden down his righteous, and said in their heart that there is no God, yea, and that knowing they must die. For as the things aforesaid shall receive you, so thirst and pain are prepared for them. For it was not his will that men should come to naught. But they which be created have defiled the name of him which made them, and were unthankful to him which prepared life for them. And therefore is my judgment now at hand. These things have I not shown unto all men, but unto thee, and a few like thee. Then answered I and said, Behold, O Lord, now hast thou shown me the multitude of the wonders which thou wilt begin to do in the last times. But at what time thou hast not shown me? He answered me and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shall you understand that it is the very same time wherein the Highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of these things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made on the world have a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest, even so the times also of the Highest have plain beginnings in wonder and wonderful works, and endings in effects and signs. And every one that shall be saved, and shall be able to escape by his works, and by faith wherein ye have believed, they shall be preserved from the said perils, and shall see my salvation in my land, and within my borders, for I have sanctified them for me from the beginning. Then shall they be in pitiful case, which now have abused my ways, and they that have cast them away despitefully shall dwell in the torments. For such as in their life have received benefits, and have not known me, excuse me, and they that have loathed my law, while they had yet liberty, and when his place of repentance was opened to them, understood not, but despised it. The same must know it after death by pain. And therefore be thou not curious how the ungodly shall be punished, and when, but inquire how the righteous shall be saved, for whose world is, and for whom the world is created. Then answered I and said, I have said before, and now do speak, and will speak it also hereafter, that there be many more of them which perish, than them which shall be saved. Like as a wave is greater than a drop. And he answered me, saying, Like as the field is, so also the seed. As the flowers be, such also the colours also. Such are the work of it, the workman is, such also is the work. And as the husbandman himself, so the husbandry also, for it was the time of the world. And now when I prepared the world, which was not yet made, even for them that dwell in now live, no man spake against me, for every one obeyed. But now the manners of them which are created in this world, that is, made corrupted by a perpetual sea, and by law which is unsearchable, rid themselves. So I considered the world, and behold, there was peril because of the devices that were come into it. And I saw, and spared it greatly, and have kept me grape of the cluster, and a plant of the great people. Let the multitude perish then, which was born in vain, and let my grape be kept, for my plant, for the great labour which I have made perfect. Nevertheless, if thou wilt cease yet 7 days more, thou shalt not fast in them, but go into the fields of flowers, where no house is builded, and eat only the flowers of the field. Taste no flesh, drink no wine, but eat flowers only. And pray unto the Highest continually, then will I come and talk with thee. So I went my way into the field which was called Ardif, like as he commanded me, and there I sat among the flowers, and did eat of the herbs in the field, and that meat the same satisfied me, and the meat of the same satisfied me, After 7 days I sat upon the grass, and heard my heart was vexed within me, like as before. I opened my mouth, and began to talk before the Most High, and said, O Lord, that showest thyself unto us, thou wast showed unto the fathers in the wilderness, in a place where no man treadeth, the barren place where they came out of Egypt. And thou spakest, Hear me, O Israel, and mark my words, thou seed of Jacob. For behold, I sow my law in you, and it shall bring fruit in you, and ye shall be honoured in it for ever. But our fathers which received the law kept it not, and observed not thy ordinances, and thought the fruit of thy law And though the fruit of thy law did not perish, neither could it, for it was thine. Yet they have received it, perished, because they kept not the thing that was sown in them. And lo, it's a custom, when the ground hath received seed, or the sea a ship, or any vessel meat or drink, that it be perished, wherein it was sown or cast into. That being perished, wherein it was sown or cast into. That thing also which was sown, or cast therein, or received, doth perish, and remain not with us. But with us it hath not happened so. For we that have received the law perish by sin, and our heart also which receive it. Notwithstanding the law perish not, but remaineth in its force. And when I spake these things in my heart, I looked back with mine eyes, and upon the right I saw a woman, and behold, she mourned and wept with a loud voice, and was much grieved in heart. And her clothes were rent, and she was ashes upon her head. Then let I my thoughts go as I was in, and turned me unto her, and said to her, Wherefore weepest thou? Why art thou so grieved in thy mind? And she said to me, Sir, let me alone, that I may bewail myself, and add unto my sorrow, for I am sore vexed in my mind, and brought very low. And I said to her, What aileth thee? Tell me. And she said to me, I, the servant, have been barren, and had no child, though I had an husbandry 30 years. And those 30 years I did nothing else day and night and every hour, but make my prayer to the highest. And after 30 years God heard me, thine handmaid, looked upon my misery, considered my trouble, and gave me a son. I was very glad of him, so that my husband also, and all my neighbours, and we gave great honour to the Almighty. And I nourished him with great travail. So when he grew up, he came to the time that he should have a wife. I made a feast. And so it came to pass, that when my son was entered into his wedding chamber, he fell down and died. That we all overthrew the lights, and all neighbours rose up to comfort me. So I took my rest unto the second day at night. And it came to pass, when they had all left off to comfort me, to the end I might be quiet, then arose I up by night and fled, and came here to this field, as thou see. And I do now propose not to return to the city, but here to stay, and neither eat or drink, but to continually mourn and fast until I die. Then left I the meditations wherein I was, and spake in anger, saying, Thou foolish woman above all other, thou seest thou not a mourning, and what happened unto us? How that Zion, our mother, is full of all heaviness, and much humbled, mourning very sore. And now, seeing all mourn and are sad, we all in heaviness, art thou grieved for one son? Sorry, let me start that bit again. And I do now propose not to return to the city, but stay, and neither eat or drink, but to continually mourn and fast until I die. Then left I the meditations wherein I was, and spake to her in anger, saying, Thou foolish woman above all other, seest thou not our mourning, and what happened to us? That how Zion, our mother, is full of all heaviness, much troubled, mourning very sore. And now, seeing we all mourn and are sad, for we're all in heaviness, thou art grieved for one son. For ask the earth, and she shall tell thee, that it is she which ought to mourn for the fall of so many that grow upon her. For out of her came all at first, and out of her shall all others come. And behold, they walk almost all into destruction, and a multitude of them is utterly rooted out. Who then should make more mourning than she, that have lost so great a multitude, and not thou, which art sorry for one son? But if thou sayest unto me, My lamentation is not like the earth's, because I have lost the fruit of my womb, which I brought forth with pains, and bear with sorrows. But the earth not so, for the multitude present in it according to the course of thine earth is gone, as it is came. Then say, then say I unto thee, like as thou hast brought forth with labour, even so the earth also has given her fruit, namely man, ever since the beginning unto him that made her. Now therefore keep thy sorrow to thyself, and bear it with good courage, that thou have befallen with thee, which thou hast befallen thee. For if thou shalt acknowledge the determination of God to be just, thou shalt both receive thy son in time, and shall be commended among women. Go thy way, then into the city to thine husbandman. She said to me, that I will not do, that I will not go to the city, but here will I die. So I proceeded to speak further to her, and said, Do not so, but be counselled by me. For how many are the adversaries of Zion? Be comforted in regard to the sorrow of Jerusalem. For thou seest that our sanctuary is laid waste, our altar broken down, our temple destroyed. Our psaltery is laid on the ground, our song is put to silence, our rejoicing is at an end. The light of our candlestick is put out, the ark of our covenant is spoiled, our holy things are defiled, and the name that is called upon is almost profaned. Our children are put to shame, our priests are burnt, our Levites are gone into captivity, our virgins are defiled, our wives ravished, our righteous men carried away, our little ones destroyed, our young men are brought to bondage, and our strong men are become weak. And, which is the greatest of all, the seal of Zion hath now lost her honour, for she hath delivered unto the hands of them that hate us. And therefore shake off the great heaviness, and put away the multitude of sorrows, and the mighty may be merciful unto thee again. And the highest shall give thee rest and ease from thy labour. And it came to pass while I was talking with her, behold, her face upon a sudden shined exceedingly, and her countenance glistened, so that I was afraid of her, and mused what it might be. Excuse me. Behold, suddenly she made a great cry, very fearful, so that the earth shook at the noise of the woman. And I looked, and behold, the woman appeared to me no more, but there was a city builded, and a large place showed itself from the foundations. Then was I afraid, and cried with a loud voice, and said, Where is Uriel the angel who came to me at the first? For he hath caused me to fall into my trances, and mine end is turned into corruption, and my prayer to rebuke. And as I was speaking these words, behold, he came unto me, and looked upon me. And lo, I lay as one that had been dead, and mine understanding was taken from me. And he took me by the right hand, and comforted me, and set me upon my feet, and said to me, What aileth thee? And why art thou so disquieted? Why is thy understanding troubled, and the thoughts in thine heart? And I said, Because thou hast forsaken me, and yet I did according to thy words. And I went to the field, and lo, I have sinned, and yet I see, I am not able to express. And he said to me, Stand up manfully, and I will advise thee. Then said I, Speak on, my Lord, in me. Only forsake me not, lest I die frustrate of my hope. For I have sinned that I know not, and I hear that I not know, and I hear that I do not know. Or is my sense deceived, or my soul in a dream? Now therefore I beseech that thou wilt show thy servant of this vision. He answered me then, and said, Hear me, and I shall inform thee, and tell me whereof thou art afraid, for the highest will reveal many secret things unto thee. He hath seen thy ways right, for thou sorrowest continually for thy people, and makest great lamentation for Zion. This, therefore, is the meaning of the vision which thou lately sawest. But thou sawest a woman mourning, and thou beganest to comfort her. But now seest thou the likeness of a woman no more, but there appeared unto thee a city builded. And whereas she told thee of the death of her son, this is the solution. This woman whom thou sawest is Zion, and whereas she said unto thee, even she, whom thou seest as a city builded. Whereas I say, she said to me, that she had been 30 years barren, and the 30 years wherein there was no offering made in her. But after 30 years Solomon builded a city, and offered offerings, and then bare their barren a son. So Solomon builded a city and started offering offerings, and then bare this barren a son. And whereas she told thee that thou nourished him with labour, that was dwelling in Jerusalem, but whereas she said unto thee that my son coming to his marriage chamber happened to have fowl, and died, this was the destruction that came to Jerusalem. And behold, thou sawest her likeness, and because she mourned for her son, thou beganest to comfort her, and of these things which have chanced, these are to be opened unto thee. For now the Most High, seeing thou art grieved unfeignedly, and sufferest from thy whole heart for her, so have he showed thee the brightness of her glory, and the comeliness of her beauty. And therefore I bade thee remain in the field, where no house was builded. For I knew that the Highest would show thee this unto thee. Therefore I commanded thee to go in a field where no foundation of any building was. For the place wherein the Highest beginneth to show his city, there can no man's building be able to stand. And therefore fear not, let not thy heart be affrighted, but go thy way in, and see the beauty and greatness of the building, as much as thine eyes are able to see. And then shalt thou hear much as thine ears may comprehend. For thou art blessed above many other, and art called with the Highest, and so are but few. But tomorrow at night thou shalt remain here. And so shall the Highest show thee visions of the high things, which the Most High will do unto them that dwell upon the earth in the last days. So I slept that night, and another, as he commanded me. So that's about as far as I'm going to go for this video. I was going to try and get it all done today, but I've got a few things to do, and seeing as we're about to start chapter 11. Oops. We've still got, I'd say, maybe 1 or 2 more videos to do, maybe 2. So yeah, I might have to leave them till next weekend. Nonetheless, I hope you enjoyed. I really enjoy this scripture. It's really heartwarming, and yeah, it has a lot to reveal. Anyway, speak with you all soon. God bless.